you are. It would help if I ran the show proper. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. I'm your host, Darth Moocher. Well, for today. Today, we have Scott Solo here.
Well-oiled machine. What's up, nerds?
Grand Admiral Franz is here.
Your host next week.
Probably. And joining us shortly, we hope, Ernie the Fallen Fett, maybe.
Perhaps.
You know, there's always a question mark on what time he will grace us with his presence. You know?
Today, tomorrow, next Wednesday. We don't know.
Exactly. Well, this is episode 297. We are coming up on our 300th episode, plus pretty soon our 8th year doing this. So some anniversaries coming up pretty quickly. It is March 5th, 2025.
Oh man, all at the same time too, aren't they? Oh, within 2 weeks of each other.
Almost. I mean, if we delay, maybe
we could skip a week or two.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Well,
right.
Before we get into it, because we got some stuff, and of course, this is going to be a heavy pit discussion. We are going to open it up and let you guys really run the show, as you should, because I obviously can't press buttons over here. So before we get into it, Scott Solo, our Shadow Council / Patreon needs proper shouting and our pit. So take it away.
I've heard of them. Let's see if I can hit the button. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, special shout out and welcome back to our Shadow Council. That is our wonderful Patreon crew. AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C. Cliff, Commander Bly. You know, one of these days I'm going to do it like he's the substitute teacher from Key and Peele.
Bly.
Commander Koak, Crystal Crystal E.
The substitute teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, the substitute teacher. Don the Dad Dorn. I don't know why that just popped into my head. Eric Grubaba. Gavin Kotner from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ryan and the Star Joes podcast. I'm all out of whack now. Justin the Vanilla Thunder. Mervine Bolanos. Oh, Mervine would be fun to do. Mervine Bolano. I don't know. Anyway, Matt Logic.
You know what? I'm taking the show over after you.
All right. Mubtak is back. Nicholas Schaefer. So if you want it, well, his dog is acting up. So hey, you know, it's we're all.
He saw me get wild. He's like, move this shit along, and he's like.
If you want to join our Patreon crew, just go to patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest Podcast or scan that QR code right there and donate a couple of bucks. We would really appreciate it. And it all goes back into the fund so we can hire a brand new showrunner. All right, moving on.
300's the magic number.
That's right. We've got Stu John. What's up, Stu John? And then we've got Commander Bly, who is actually first, regardless of when he says hello.
Of course. He pays.
Yes. He does pay for free. Actually, he didn't today. Wow, that's no, I'm kidding. We've got Rhino Hobbies is in there. Don the Dad Dorn, Santo 1414. Who else have we got? We've got Mando Mike. We've got Eli Martin. What's up, Eli?
I'm sorry, this is the great quote. Yeah. We will get into that. Mommy's getting kicked me under my bed.
She's never going away like any good villain.
I know.
That's what somehow she's returned.
she never left.
I know. Phantom
Menace
Dennis is in there. Then we've got Eric Coates. What's up, Eric?
Hey, welcome. Welcome.
Time. What's up?
Well, hi, Eric.
Let's see. We've got Gordon. Gordon, where you been, man? You for one whole week, you had the lead in the last stuff. We'll get into the last stuff in just a second. Excuse me, ran out of breath. We've got Joey Covarrubias. You might know him as Bootleg Joe. What's up, Bootleg? One of these days we want you back in here. We've got Dr. Brant, but not
today.
It is not this time. We've got Dr. Brantley in there. We've got Meeks. What's up, Meeks? Is that Commander Bly? Commander Bly. The power of the page.
Give him a check mark. Give him a check. Thank you, Commander Bly, so much for that.
We really appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Everybody, thanks for coming in this evening, and we'll see you next week. No, I'm kidding. I do want to say before we have a SD17, which is our droid, our mascot, who is down in there in the corner bringing all the comments in there. Tomorrow's going to be the last day you can vote on the color scheme. We built him. He's ready to be painted and brought to the show properly. We've been advertising for a couple weeks now, and our community post, we are at about 76 votes, and Scum and Villainy paint scheme has taken the lead.
Do we have a picture you can put up?
It's the schemes I can't. I don't. Well, we'll get to that.
We'll work on it. Give me a second.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. But I just want to say
next week. I'm telling you, forget you both. Just give me the software. I'm just running it.
What?
That's fine. That's cool.
I'm working on it. Should we cover the last off really quick, just so we know where we currently stand with the? Okay, so in the last off, as we all know, at the end of the show, he who is the very last commenter, oh boy, he is the very last commenter, is in the running to win this. It is the 1 in 5,000 Merrick's Fiend Fighter from Micro Galaxy Squadron, and right now we have got Hal Runner, who I have not seen yet. He has got 2. Gordon is at 1.
It's not if he gets here early, if he stays late.
That's right.
So he doesn't care when he gets here.
But he's asking me constantly, what's the current standing? Commander Bly has 1, and Stu John Jedi is in the lead with 4. So get your lasts ready, and we're going to give that away on episode 300. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. And yes, Stu John, Imperial Sympathizer just got ahead this from 5 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah,
with another 5 votes. So this is your time to let your voice be heard. And we will take that into consideration. Well, actually, we will paint him the way you guys want him to. So it's fun. So I'm going to bring up that comment one more time from Kathleen Kennedy. Where are you, Eli? There you are. Kathleen Kennedy, got to get you. She got to get me, Mama, can you check my under the bed? Any Disney executives? Yeah, it seems that maybe we have some clarification. Just to kind of go over real fast, I don't think the outcome is different. It's just the way she worded it and the way the fans reacted, right? So, I don't know. Chet Maddox checking in. Yeah. So so last week we covered the rumor. Like, I mean, it was kind of like blasted everywhere. Every fan channel, every news outlet was like, she's gone. People are.
And it wasn't just Mike Zero, dude. It was like Variety.
It was insane how people reacted with it, right? Yeah. And so the rumor was Kathleen Kennedy was, going to retire within the year or whatever it is. And people were speculating who could take the place, what's going on. But now she came out, made a statement, says, I'm not going anywhere. I will make movies till I die. But yes, there is a contingency plan when I retire and she said, I will make that announcement within the next few months to a year. So I'm like, well, then that's exactly what we said last week. But so why are you coming out and saying it's false? Right?
They're just going to announce the succession planning. That's all.
She's grooming somebody to take her place. So.
Oh, that you can't use that word. Can't use that. Screenshot real quick. Here we go. This is our paint schemes. So Imperial Sympathizer has taken the lead.
You know
over
what?
Scum and Villainy.
Ernie is signing in over and over just to get Scum and Villainy. That's what's going on. Because you know what their other problem is? We've got 3 imps in there, and they're taking each other's votes.
That's true.
Right? They're stealing each other's.
Well, Scum and Villainy was up for a while. It was up for a while. Yeah.
We messed this up.
And the link is in the chat. So if you want to go, click that link, and you can cast your vote too. So,
tomorrow's the deadline.
Yay.
So, Commander Blight, you can take my Lucasfilm, but you can't pry it from my cold, dead hands. That's right. I think is it kind of telling that almost everybody had a positive reaction to it, and to say, I'm not going anywhere should tell you a little bit about, like, I mean, like I said, we weren't negative about it, but we were kind of like, yeah, it's time.
Not to do this. I mean, I'm going to do it. So remember when Artie Moreno said he was going to sell the Angels?
Yes.
And then everybody, the whole internet blew up. It was like, yeah, great. Get the hell out of here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And the next day he's like, you know what? I hear that everybody wants me to stay. I've got – no, he didn't, dude. Not one person. Nowhere on the internet.
I never said anything. Yeah, like, now it's really good. No,
not even one.
I would be like sitting at my desk going, well, shit.
if somebody sneaks out that you're getting fired or you're quitting, and the overall consensus is, woohoo, get the fuck out.
Like I said, wow. We weren't negative about it, but we were kind of like, all right. I mean, look, you had a great.
If a rumor that I was leaving the company ever came up, and they were all like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Oh, I'm leaving."
Well, look, she's been a controversial figure, right? Love her or hate her, like what she's done and approved or not. Yeah. She's been a controversial figure, and there's a point where the controversy starts overriding the product, right? So maybe it is time to kind of.
Well, her statement did kind of reiterate what the initial announcement was, meaning like, I'm not going anywhere, but I'm going to be planning on this retirement thing. And she said within a month to a year, as far as announcing it's almost how like what Bob Iger was doing, right? Or he said, they're picking somebody because he wants to leave Disney also. It's the same thing. He's picking people to replace him, and he's going to stay there for a while.
Did she say, do you have the quote? Did she say I was going to be here 6 months to a year? Or did she say she would stay on with the new person once they took over for 6 months to a year?
No, she just said an announcement will be made in about a month to a year about the plan, about the overall.
I didn't take that in present tense, month to a year.
And the way I read it was that she would still be producing, still be the head of Lucasfilm, but not head of Star Wars. If you read the quote, it actually says looking for somebody to lead Star Wars.
Well, we're good with that too.
So it's
Commander Blythe, she didn't take too kindly to people dancing on her. Yeah, I mean,
I suppose there's an obstinance to it right there, right? Oh, you don't want me here?
Yeah, I was almost embarrassed for her because everybody was kind of like dancing.
It must suck, dude, right? To be somebody like that, or an athlete or something where you're constantly getting ripped online.
Yeah,
people, no matter what you do, an actor or whatever. You're just getting ripped to shit all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
By half the people, at least.
By half, like I said, the vocal minority, right? The very vocal. Yeah. Alexander Storm is checking in. Also, Mando Mike Future, the person that takes over, is worse than Kathleen Kennedy. Regret instance. I don't know. Well, we kind of like went over that a little bit about who could take it or who should take it. But I mean, it's not.
But isn't that funny that Mando is sitting there, like kind of like, again, the devil we know.
Who could be worse, right?
We could deal with this.
Of all people.
But you know what? Mando Mike actually looks at the I will give him this. He looks at the goods and the bads, right? He weighs it evenly, and he doesn't have a problem mostly for her. Actually, he thinks she's kind of hot. So,
Well, Mando, it's time for you to get out of that.
One shot look on my face. It was more like, that's about right.
Yep.
Mando Mike.
I do want to just kind of put it to the pit here a little bit. You guys have any topics that you want to kind of get it out in the open and let's go. This is your podcast tonight. This is your discussion topic. So anything that, you kind of want to get into fun wise, even if it's theory crafting or news that you think or rumors that you saw, pop it in here, man. Well, let's go for it.
You are the Sarlacc Digest tonight, folks.
Yeah, Commander, again, I really hope KK isn't given full freedom to handpick her replacement.
I think they've already got it picked. It's already it's already in motion. We just don't know it yet.
There was the what's funny is, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know about how much to read into this, but like they've announced 4 panels or 3 major panels at Celebration Japan, but not a showcase panel, which kicks it off, right? Everything. And they usually say, hey, we have a showcase panel, then we have our boom, 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 boom. Here it's like Andor 2, obviously. We have Ahsoka, Mando Grogu. I want to say, and a Visions panel. So they announced those are like the major, Hall H kind of stuff, but no showcase. They didn't announce any showcase. Now, again, am I reading into it? It's like, is it too early to say that, or are we reading into it meaning like, oh crap, they're not going to do a showcase? Meaning,
oh no,
they're just going to double down on
last minute to do the showcase, to announce the showcase. I bet you, because when is it? Okay, when are we going to be in Andor 2 versus Celebration? Like,
what do you mean?
Are we going to be done with Andor 2?
No.
Oh, no.
Andor runs 2 days after Celebration begins, so it's
got it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so
I bet
probably that's a good time to announce stuff right when the new show's going on.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end.
You guys remember when Obi-Wan dropped early because Celebration was happening at the same time? I wonder if we'll end up getting Andor a little bit early because Celebration's at the same time.
Maybe the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting though that Visions is one of the quote unquote main panels. It's like,
it's why
really?
It's because it's like
they're in Japan.
It's not necessarily anime studios or Japanese studios like season 1. Like I don't know. I don't know about season 3 if it went back, because remember season 2 went all over.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is anime in general. Wouldn't that fit?
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
for that celebration more than ours.
Makes a little bit more sense. Cater it to your audience. Yeah.
I still think it's hiding the showcase though. To your point. So
yeah.
Hey, did you see this Endor special look?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was better than the trailer.
Look, man.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I like seeing Krennic with the regular people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right there. Right. I'm like, it's getting down when you're going to start. That's what we really need is the imps and the regulars and the politicians all starting to mix, because Andor 1 was all very separate. Right. So now when we start mingling and talking and being, two-faced to each other is that should be pretty good.
Politics at its finest. You know,
Krennic should be top notch at that.
Yeah.
That should be a really good play.
There's that one shot that got me kind of jazzed, and it was that wide shot of the Senate. And I posted in our little chat thing, and it's like, well, that's the Emperor's seat right there, and
if it's Masameda, fine. But it should be Palps.
Wouldn't that be disappointing?
I mean, it's a reddish robe. Yeah, exactly.
It would be disappointing, but they pulled it in Clone Wars. They pulled it in other stuff. It was just it's bound to happen. But Palpatine needs to come up in there. They're going to be in the Senate. If we're going to make that happen, it needs to be him addressing everybody.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Or at the very least, right before Rogue One, he abolishes the Senate. That could be when he gets rid of it once and for all. Right before they talk about it on A New Hope. That's the last scene, getting rid of the Senate. Yeah.
Oh, so
Oh,
maybe
that
a
would
more of
be-
a time jump into A New Hope. but
Well, at the very
in A New Hope.
last couple of scenes, because he just got word. I mean, Rogue One and A New Hope are together,
Yeah.
at the
You
same
know
time.
what?
So, but it's that Senate piece is going to happen at the same.
Yeah, could be.
You know.
And then
I bet
Yeah.
you what happens in Rogue One when everybody's on Yavin 4 and it's all the senators around that table discussing, are we going to form a rebellion? Are we going to
It
do
just
this?
happened.
Is the catalyst
Yeah.
that makes him actually cancel or just put a stopper in the Senate
Yeah.
right there.
There you go.
yeah.
The traitors.
Yeah, the Mon
Yeah.
Mothma thing is done. He's got Organa as a piece,
Yeah.
on his side. All of this, yeah.
Yes, you,
done.
John. The scene of what Tark referred to in the meetings. Yeah, the
Yep.
Senate is no longer an issue. It's like regional governors will keep everybody
Yeah.
in line. Yeah.
The regional governors.
Yeah.
Fear of
I know
this
Eric.
thing.
It was asking about vintage collection, Star Wars stuff. Yeah, Eric. Just to let you know, like we do a toy chest show every other Monday, and we break down everything. As far as what's come out, vintage collection, Black Series, Star Wars collecting. But I mean, we could talk it here if there's anything. It's like I said, it's your guys' show tonight.
Was there anything else in that special look though before we
Um,
jump?
I
I didn't really pay too close attention. I only watched it once through.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh snap! I saw you.
Yeah,
so I don't know if you caught anything else.
Well, not. I mean, the behind the scenes stuff I've always liked, right? Like they had Alan Tudyk in the AI or the CG get up next to Andor flying. So it's like we're gonna get this. I mean, he's gonna be in it very early on, and
That's what
we
it
know
seemed like,
that's
too.
happening. K2. So this was kind of a two-part, right? It was a first look, special look, almost like a second trailer because there was some dialogue stuff going in on
and
it.
a lot of scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that really
Different
got me,
planets.
like I told you guys last week, was I really like how Andor is really showing that the Empire is bad and very oppressive and everything. And that first shot and this special look was the radio tuning. And it's almost like every rebel radio tuning was in panic mode. It's like, help us, we need help. And it goes to like, we're getting shot. I mean, it was like this, like an overall spark of rebellion just really kicked it off. And that really got me excited for it again. Just like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey, look at Commander Bly's comment, 822. Please grab that longer one. Yes,
Commander Bly.
okay. But permanently. So, but when they're saying he dissolved the Senate, okay, Dr. Brantley, next one, literally. Like dissolved it literally. That Tarkin could just not be telling him. He wouldn't walk in the office being like, "Hey guys, guess what Palps just did? He just blew up the Senate." Right?
Dude.
Imagine like Palpatine did some kind of shit like that.
Yeah.
Got rid of
No
Senate.
disintegrations.
Yeah, I guess we would have heard it somewhere in the trilogy, but taking him out would have been a move too.
Nice. What's up, Fallen Fett? How you doing, brother?
Classic Palpatine.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic Sheev.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy.
God, I hate that name.
It's so weird, right?
Yeah, it is.
always is. What's his real name? Doing great.
Sheev.
Thanks, Mooch. How are you guys?
I'm good, man. We basically open it up to the pit to let them run our conversation tonight. Maybe we'll sprinkle it in the Andor special look. We'll sprinkle it in Kathleen Kennedy not going anywhere anytime soon or whatever that was. It's just like at this point, I'm done with all her news. Just it is what it. Whenever it goes to our table, that's
Honestly,
when it is, right?
Yeah.
But
Hey, so how about other news wise? You see Favreau talking about 4?
I did.
Yeah,
I did see that. I
so
saw.
We had gotten to the point where Mandu and Grogu was taking the place of 4, but Favreau says he's already written season 4.
Yeah.
That it's
Yeah.
not necessarily possibly. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. But
Right.
he's written 4 if they want it. Like it's ready to go.
I think it.
What did he say? He needed the other things to fall into place.
Yeah.
From the other shows, so there
Well,
might be another.
Well, I think
Mando season.
like Filoni has he probably says, look at the round table. He's like, look, this is the movie I'm doing at the end to tie it all in. So here's these avenues that we have to bring to this point, right? So you have Ahsoka 2 and Mando Grogu movie was in the works, right? And it probably was like, look, but maybe we need a season 4 to kind of bring it back home with other characters because you know how Mando does it, right? It's not
Ahsoka
just
can
about
get
them.
the legacy characters built in. right?
Yeah.
The Rebels crew and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Mando needs to bring in the new crew and Boba and the bounty hunters and the Mandos, and then get them all somehow, and they connect with each other, right?
Yeah.
Mando and Ahsoka connect through
Yeah,
each
because
other.
because Favreau would be like, the movie doesn't do that, so here's the contingency plan. Here's 4 ready to go to really tie it in. And so when Filoni's movie happens, it's really like, oh crap. So like, because I'm not expecting a Ahsoka 3, I'm just expecting Ahsoka 2, and that is going to be a celebration panel. Mando Grogu movie, so something like that. It was kind of like cool that it was even brought to any kind of spotlight, even if it's just straight talk, right? Favreau saying that I've written 4 and it's ready to basically get into production or revitalize.
He's smart, dude. There's no reason for him to say that.
Oh yeah,
right. Like if you're saying that, it's got to be in the works, because he knows damn well how the fans are. And he's a smart guy. He's not new at this.
Right.
You know, he's the vet everybody that's been working on it.
And him and Filoni see eye to eye. If Filoni was like, this is my end game, but then and basically like, well, I'm giving you guys 5 years and you can do whatever you want in those 5 years, but the roads have to lead to this intro, and I take it from there. So you can put this character through whatever you want, but at the
just
end,
don't kill him.
Yeah, I don't kill this person, and I need him on these planets. It's like, then I need right. I need Luke here. I
need a scar across his eye, right?
Yeah. Well, like what Mark Hamill wanted in Return of the Jedi, an earring, a scar, like that would be a weird throwback, because I wouldn't want that.
Only if we get clone Luke.
Yeah, he wanted to embrace the full Sith part of it.
Yeah. Dr. Bradley, action scene, Mon Mothma escapes destruction of the Senate. Yeah, well, remember in Rebels, she basically calls out Palpatine to the Senate, and then he puts a price on her head, and the Rebel team has to.
She's not there when it just gets destroyed.
Yeah. So the Rebel team had to pull her out of it, and then that's where she's basically got a death sentence after talking back. So, Stu John, in that lighting, Fallen Fett looks trapped in a matrix, right?
That's just my agree. I wish.
Man, Snack Migo, he be in trivia, huh?
Snack Migo just came from beating Ernie.
Ernie,
if I recall,
man,
was this video game trilogy and you lost?
I was doing so good. I was up there in the top 3 forever, and then I just started to lose it. Yeah. I was still in the top 10 though. That's what counts.
That's what counts.
Yeah.
Stu John, Revenge of Lizzo the Hutt. Wow.
Oh my God. Wow.
Sorry. We can laugh at it. It's cool. It's no crime in laughing, right? So
we didn't say it
right now. We didn't say it. So.
She's trying.
Oh man, Mando, Mike, it would be cool to see a movie from the Empire's perspective, and the rebellion and resistance are the bad guys.
Yeah, we've said that before.
We tried to do it with Acolyte, but it wasn't Empire and Rebel. I get that, but
and it didn't even really get it from that point of view, to be honest, right? Like you saw their side, but it wasn't like from their vantage point. It made the Jedi look bad, but it was just it didn't work right. It really didn't work right.
And like I
get
said,
with that said, I would like to see the Empire 80% of the time just trying.
Remember, we got a little taste of it in, wasn't it Mando with what's her name? When she saw the stormtroopers, and he was like, "I had friends on that Death Star." They were going.
They do talk like that.
And that was
when he
really
was talking
great.
with Kara when they had Dr. Pershing in the shuttle. Right.
And that's where,
and that's what we're saying is that would be so good to just like that. The people signing up to be stormtroopers, and they think that they're right.
The soldier, and
how dare these rebels?
Yeah, like I said, I agree with the soldier's point of view being humanized, right? But not the Empire. That's to me, because you blend those too much, and then there's no good guy, there's no bad guy. They're just.
We want them to be bad guys, though.
If it was straight up, I mean, say for example, if it was Andor, but it was Deidre is her, and that was all her, and it was Andor that was sprinkled in. You know what I mean? That's that.
Yeah. Because I like her. I like her side.
Yeah,
I like that with Qyburn and everybody else in the ISB. I like.
Yeah. You follow that with like Andor being the terror. Well, he basically is in that.
And now you've got Krennic. You've got the ability to bring in Vader and Palpatine, and then you've man.
Oh man, we've still got Lauren in there. I mean, everybody's in here right now. It's like everybody's in play. I love it.
Eric Coates, it would be cool if they did a prequel of Rebels before the crew met Ezra. Animated.
There's a book.
New Dawn.
No, animated would be cool. Yeah, New Dawn. The book New Dawn is how Hera and Kanan met, which is I just reread that is really good. So
what they need to do
that was one of the first canon books. I'm surprised they haven't like completely messed it up. You know, the first couple they really exactly. It was like Aftermath and New Dawn, somewhere around there. But
I can actually see that being a whiteboarded slate of like maybe something if they had thrown ideas out, because again, how popular Rebels was, how popular Ahsoka, you know what I mean, as far as like that crew and everything, and having some sort of beginnings. I mean, we got some of Hera's background through the Clone Wars and all that stuff, and but Kanan we got somewhat, you know, he was on the run. I mean, there's somewhat things, right, but not that
little
formation
nuggets.
What would be cool is
the story to bring it together.
Yeah,
remember who trained? Okay, who did Lauren train? Do you remember in Rebels? There was a specific officer he trained that they talked about. He was one of my cadets. Okay, Callus. Oh, it's taking too long.
Agent Callus.
I want Callus. Callus, we haven't talked about at all. We get the Rebels crew, the good side, right? We should be seeing Callus on the Empire side, in the Imperial side.
Man, that would be awesome.
Yeah, getting any kind of report back from Lothal, or just being around in the room.
I would love to see him in Andor. The first 3 episodes, you know how it's every year. So he's in there, and then he goes, you know what? There's an uprising on Lothal. I need you to go there and take care of that. Then so introduced as live action Callus in Andor season 2, and then in animated Rebels. That
live action Callus would kill it.
That would be cool.
That's actually my biggest hope now. Damn.
I know, right? So here we go.
Who could play the live action Callus though?
Oh,
any redhead.
He's blonde, but yeah.
I see him as red. I don't know why. He's animated. Pick any redhead, make him Callus, and then you're good. Any Weasley.
Any
Weasley. Except the one we already had.
Pick a Weasley.
Hux. I mean,
except Hux.
Yeah. Pick a Weasley.
No,
any Weasley.
He's got to be kind of an imposing figure, because he was pretty built. You know, he's blonde, pretty built, but he had that really super deep voice. I don't know who that is. So get a new guy. Get a new guy.
Yeah.
That worked great for Star Wars, right?
Outside the realm of Hollywood. Yeah. Commander Blythe. I'm kind of expecting this too. Mando and Grogu will just be an adventure flick, a popcorn movie to sell tickets and reset Star Wars theatrical experience, and then Ruin Johnson will undo it all.
Oy.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree that I think the direction of their story group, or where Lucasfilm wants to take this, and kind of like, look, maybe we had put too much in there, and it's not enough hits in there. There's some mediocre stuff. People are not, responding, where this timeline is jumping everywhere. So maybe let's take a step back. Let's have a adventure film to get Star Wars name back in there. Mando Grogu is a perfect way to do it. And that's probably why Jon Favreau was like, well, I'm gonna have to write this, because the movie is not really going to give a definitive ongoing story with them. It's just going to be like this fun, cool thing that we're going to see. It might have some impact, but I don't know if they can really do that just yet, especially with Star Wars, where it's continued from Disney Plus and theatrical, Disney Plus theatrical. It either one or the other has to carry it, and right now it's Disney Plus.
What if it's like this? The Mando Grogu movie is their version of episode 1, and then episode 2 is going to be whatever this Heir to the Empire movie is going to be, right? What if the two of those work well together, right? It's the bridge that connects those two films. I mean, that could work. So
that can work.
I figure they're all connected, right? That Mando Grogu is going to roll into.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it's going to be where it's familiar from where we left off at Disney Plus, and then familiar how it's going to continue Disney Plus. But as a standalone, it probably will do a good job just doing that, just doing something where people can understand everything that's going on, and then walk away from it being like, cool. But that's the problem with video on demand and theatrical releases these days. That's a problem I think nobody foresaw happening. I mean, really, I think the intentions was good to be like, we have this a media that we could just put out content, and we got this amazing story go for 30 years. But
you know who saw it? George Lucas.
He did. He absolutely did. 100% he did. Yes. He had that vision. of
Grogu's
that
first words
technology.
only in theaters.
Oh man.
Oh God! And I hope
he's
I hope
already
it's
said-
Bobcat. Please let it be Bobcat.
He's already talking. Filoni already confirmed it. He's already talking. He said, because somebody goes, "Are we going to hear Grogu's first words?" He goes, "What do you mean? What makes you think we haven't?" I'm like,
The fact that I haven't.
It's because it's not words that we can understand. God damn.
He spoke to Ahsoka.
Through his mind. That's all I want. I can't see it in my head. And maybe that's just me. I can't see it. It gets too cheesy, too corny.
When his
You know
voice
what I mean?
hits.
Him talking basic at this point because I'm not.
Because he's not going to speak. He's not going to speak backwards, right? He's not going to smell like Yoda. He's
like
Yaddle. He's going to have a
Yeah.
kid voice.
Yeah.
Or will it be an adult voice? It's a
Unless
kid voice
it's
because he's 50.
500 years from now. That's different than this point. I mean,
Yeah.
Flash forward.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. Flash forward. You know, come on.
Has to be. Well,
Maybe
yeah.
Basil. I don't know. For its
Could be.
intelligible words. Yeah, I get it. I mean,
yeah.
I'd probably be the only one not fist pumping on that one. But again, that's just me.
Watch, it's the kid who plays Neil. He does the voice.
Yeah.
He does the voice of Grogu.
Well, damn.
See, I think this is the way it should be his first words, right?
I agree.
At some point, and it's just a matter of when. And I don't think anything. Well, I guess the ceremony would have been a good place for it, but I don't. I think it's got to be in the future when he takes over Mandalore, when he becomes.
Yeah, I think so. Older.
Yeah.
Hal
He
Runner's
has the
checking in
Darksaber.
also. Yeah.
What's up, Hell Runner? Got to
Yeah,
rebuild that Darksaber.
It's all
They will.
about, to me, appearance.
Got a crystal,
and-
right? Raid fixed a crystal. We're good.
Yeah, very true.
Did you see that too? In the comic, they showed her how she fixed
Oh.
Skywalker's crystal post.
No,
breaking
I
it?
didn't. I
No.
haven't.
The same way she heals Kylo, type of thing. She learned it through the Force. This is in a comic book where I didn't. I'm behind in my comics, obviously.
Oh,
But she takes the Kyber crystal that they broke and she heals it.
Really?
So, yeah. So another new power. This
And did it become yellow?
I suppose so. You know,
Like,
I didn't go that far into the pages. I saw it was her fixing it.
Yeah, because I
So,
know.
Why was the Kyber crystal broken? Because
they break it during the snap. when
Yeah,
they
weren't
hurt
they-
Kylo.
well, they split it. Oh, you mean okay? I'm sorry. So that she healed the crystal before casing it in leather and using it again. Rise of Skywalker. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought you meant that she had fixed it later on to make.
well,
it yellow.
post the breaking of it. Sorry, when it.
Okay.
she
Okay. Gotcha.
lasted
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
That's how she did it. Was she healed it, and that's wild.
Sure.
If you can bleed it, you can heal it, right?
Guess
I
so.
mean,
They usually turn white at that. Well, they turn white once they're red.
Purified.
Once you
If
heal
they're
it from a
red
dark
and
side.
purified, then they're white. Right.
right.
Right. So it wouldn't have been
Wow,
yellow
this
at
is
that
good.
point anyway. It would have still been blue. So
Yeah.
the yellow was odd.
Something else.
Yeah, a whole new crystal.
She found another crystal somewhere. Yeah. Well, somehow Ray found a crystal. So
Why not?
You know what? Let's just poke holes in this.
I swear to
8 and
God.
9.
That's what.
You know,
we do,
let's just start the sequel back
It's
to
time.
that. Let's
It's
just go.
time.
Stu John, can you imagine being a parent of Yoda species and changing diapers for 50 years? Well,
You know, we really
50
don't
plus
deal
years,
with how
right?
Grogu
Because-
takes a shit, nor how Mando deals with it, whether it's in the toilet or it's
I mean, those robes are ripe. Yeah.
he's wearing that flight jacket for a minute, dude.
Yep.
Basil, I don't know. I have to ask around. Didn't
man, I
Cal
haven't got
Kestis
through
do
it.
something similar to Fallen Order? That's a good question, and that would put that talk into perspective. I have to see. I don't remember, but I didn't finish the games either, so I'm such a bad gamer. It's not even funny.
Rhino Hobbies has a perfect response to where did Ray get the crystal?
She went to bat too.
Yes.
They have crystals.
Good job, Rhino.
It's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's true. It's canon. It's
You
canon.
can't argue it. You
And you don't have
cannot
to do
argue
nothing.
it.
You can pick your colors, whatever
The,
you
se-
want.
the secret
Yeah.
planet nobody knows about that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can pick your
Commander
colors.
Bly. It would be easier to do a list what Ray can't do.
Apparently.
She can't fly yet.
Are you sure? She had a pretty good leap going on in that.
Really?
In that movie.
Yeah. Superman started
Yeah.
out leaping tall buildings.
It's very
He
true.
did.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
fly at first.
It's
so.
just a big jump.
It's
Yep.
Neo all over. Yeah, however, no, Cal didn't. Yeah,
Speaking of
I
Matrix, she's just Neo in Star Wars.
just gotta learn. She got
If
free
we see her
your
go next
mind.
to a tree, dude, and do the
Yeah.
And then she's
Yeah.
She knows kung fu.
The only real thing that could make Rey interesting is if her Palpatine blood somehow comes through and she goes dark. I mean, other than that, she's becoming OP, right? It's like,
Yeah. You know,
Kind of. I mean, with her though, we're seeing it with Luke. It's with Luke, we didn't see a whole lot of training, and he got his ass whooped a couple of times.
well,
And then in the further on down the line, we didn't see him get the training, but
Yeah.
he got really overpowered too, especially in the comics and the books.
well, I guess the question is this then, right?
Yeah.
So Luke is a different story because again, he was older before he even started training, and then his purpose was just to
same age.
face Vader, right? Well, just
Yeah,
to
he
face
was the same
Vader,
age, yeah.
but he didn't have the Yoda. He didn't have the Jedi training. Either did Rey. I get it. So all her abilities that she learned or whatever were those things that we can explain in the prequels. Like, were they all things that Jedi's had? Were she overpowered than any other prequel Jedi?
They usually do that anyway. Like the healing. Remember what we said? Okay, when Grogu healed Carl Weathers, right?
Yeah.
It was the week before or 2 weeks before she did it in Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
And I laughed because I'm like, okay, if Grogu didn't do that already, we'd be raising a freaking fit about her doing it.
Yes.
But since Grogu did, everybody had to go bite their tongue. It was cool.
Yeah.
Grogu did it.
Yeah.
With her, I mean,
It's true.
she already had battling skills, right? Living as a hermit on.
Give her that.
Give him a thumbs up. Living on Jakku like that, she had to learn how to fight, right? So we'll give her that. The only thing that she was really able to do that Luke wasn't able to, that Luke didn't do in A New Hope, was call the lightsaber to herself, right? They waited until Empire to show that ability. So that's really the only thing that she did that Luke didn't do at the same time period, right? And
I
then
suppose
I mean,
she could take Kylo or handle Kylo. She should. Well, he didn't try to kill her though.
No. But and again, she had the battle years and years, an entire lifetime of training how to defend herself on Jakku, right? Being raised by herself, essentially. Where Kylo had his training and all that, so they were pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
I would think that Finn versus Kylo would have been a more one-sided, because Finn actually got a good shot in with Kylo, didn't he?
But then Kylo just wrecked him.
Well, you
Kylo
see,
wrecked him, yeah.
Here's the thing. I can explain away. Saber talent, like, because if the Force gives you like Qui-Gon says, you can see things before they happen. It's reflect your reflexes, right?
Yeah.
And so at that point, Kylo's really not trying to kill her, but she's going. I mean, she could deflect and everything, and then she's going after him and stuff. So the lightsaber abilities, I can really explain, but I'm talking like stuff to where the mind control, the just other things that Rey did.
Yeah.
And,
where did she learn how to do the Jedi mind trick? Because
she obviously knew of Jedis, and she had like a hit because she knew of who Han Solo was.
She knew Luke.
Luke.
They knew the whole history.
If somehow she got into some sort of library on Jakku or some sort of holonet that they could, like what Wim was doing in Skeleton Crew, he was reading up on all this stuff. Is it where it's like, okay, look, because in Force Awakens, this is forcing me to explain it. Force Awakens, it was almost like, I know of this ability, let me try it, and it didn't work the first time, and then it worked the second time, and then she went into Kylo's head. She reversed it, so you can kind of explain to things when things are happening. She can understand it happening and do that.
Didn't they say that as part of her though too? She has an innate ability to like take information from.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like
she is. Yeah,
that's convenient.
It's convenient. No, dude,
it's like Commander Bly right here. He says that's a great point. We see most of Luke's training, and we didn't see even most of Luke's training, and it worked. We see most of Rey's, and it didn't work. And it's a difference between mid versus good storytelling, right? Yeah. But we're trying not to look at it from a storytelling perspective and more of a somebody writing it down and actually something that happened in the history.
It worked because we had 3 years between. Well, it wasn't 3 years. It was 6 months between Empire and Jedi. Right?
Yeah.
And a year. So it gets called out by even Han, where he says everybody's having delusions of grandeur. What's going on here? Like, he doesn't even believe it. How do you think he's going to be a Jedi Knight? Dumb. Yeah. Everybody just accepts that Rey's the new Jedi. right?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
questions.
Right.
And at least Han knew to go, who the hell? You're out of your mind, until it gets shown. Everybody's like, yeah, Rey's a Jedi, obviously.
Yeah.
Nothing about her.
It'd be different. Honestly, it'd be different if she wasn't a desert rat isolated on that planet, and she was
Luke
somebody
came in
that
a hero. Luke came in saving the princess. Luke came in people have flown with his father.
Yeah.
And things like that. Luke came in with something, right? A reason to trust.
And this is where I will agree with like Mando Mike's statements from the past. Like he always said, like, hey, if a Star Wars fan wrote the sequels, you probably get something different. And I've always had a little bit of conflict with that, like a little bit, because Rian Johnson is a huge Star Wars fan. Okay. And he did get some things correct, like right, but it's like there's anyway.
It's the last piece that it could have been fine. It could have been okay. We could have saved Last Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Honestly, I think all of us here, even in the pit and stuff, if we were presented with that script before it went to paper, I think we would have called out certain things like that. Like, hey, I don't think this would happen. And like what Sam Witwer does, right? There's a problem here. This shouldn't be a thing, or maybe you should change it like this. The ones who wrote, I mean, like I said, there's some major like understandings of Star Wars, and that's a real gatekeeping thing to say. I know it is for Star Wars, but there are some things where we all can agree on things like that. Like if you put Rey in a different environment, then yeah, we could probably explain more of her OP abilities or whatever that. But to have her where it was just reading about it or whatever it was and had I mean, she wasn't doing she wasn't grabbing things in the air prior to this stuff.
Yeah, it was the touching the saber that is what
awoke
the power, which doesn't make any sense if you think about it, because she's a Palpatine. Why would touching Anakin's lightsaber why would touching Anakin's lightsaber awaken anything in her, right?
Yeah.
Or is it just being that close to a kyber crystal? Who knows?
Maybe Anakin took a pill.
Maybe.
Yeah,
it is a little blue pill.
With her, what you're saying about when she touched the lightsaber and getting the visions? What's that called? The telemetry? A telemetry to
yes.
No.
Because Quinlan Voss has it.
Yeah.
Telemetry?
It's right there on the tip of my tongue. No, telemetry is reading like a mechanical thing. I know what you mean. It's the it's not psychokinesis, but it's
damn it, it's what Cal Kestis has in Jedi.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Quinlan and Cal both have the same. So it makes sense that it does that, right? A weapon that's seen a lot. When they touch stuff that's seen good or bad things, they
this
understand.
dagger has seen.
Yeah, she did with the dagger too. This dagger's done evil things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that power though. I don't.
No,
that's
and that's not something I think is overpowered. Like I said, it's the whole awakening in her, and she can maybe again. It's the thing about tapping into it and then maybe having abilities you don't even know you have, and then doing things that you didn't know you could do. But then if you're that like Palpatine isn't the chosen one. It was Anakin. He's the one that has the midichlorian count above all, everything and all these things. So like Rey shouldn't be
psychometry.
She's only a product of a clone of Palpatine. You know what I mean? It's not like that, like she could be this new chosen one thing. It just doesn't jive well of being like you're a daughter of the clone of the Emperor.
Right. Should be kind of watered down, right?
I mean,
yeah.
Or just not that important to have that, like Anakin was. Yeah.
It was an interesting decision. I kind of wish they would have left it to where she was just a nobody, right? It's that
would make more
mentality, right?
That would make more interesting, I think, if it was right. Where she maybe, like I said, maybe the Force shot back again and created Rey. And I always thought, I mean, I don't know if I'll tell this pit, but I always said, like, imagine, at Rey being an incarnation or reincarnated version of Anakin since he was born of the Force. Why not? I mean, again, I was just trying to make the sequels make sense at that time and see where it can go.
There were so many theories we were kicking around, and just we did not see Palpatine coming.
We saw a family. Didn't see a clone granddaughter.
I didn't see that part. Yeah.
Granddaughter.
I didn't see Palpatine coming at all. So I take myself off of that.
No, but we had discussed it is the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had gone Kenobi. Is she a Kenobi? Is she a Palpatine? Is she nothing? Is she, what is she here? And a reincarnation of Anakin, which I think was probably the lowest of the ones we would hope, but it was like, if it is, it is.
That was my way of continuing Anakin's story, because that was the first 6 films about, and then.
And it was from day one we were talking about her being a Palpatine. The problem, the thing was, they didn't connect it at all. They should have given drops of hints with darkness, with
the cackling or his cackling in the background when she touched the lightsaber.
Yeah,
something.
Anything, but everything she got was heroic, right?
Yeah.
And with her bloodline, it really she should have seen some dark shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
and
touching the youngling,
and it was telemetry, by the way, or psychometry was the
psychometry.
There we go. So I completely lost my train of thought. My apologies.
Sorry. Dr.
Psychometry blew my mind.
Even if Luke didn't care about Jedis anymore, he would throw a deadly weapon over his shoulder for porks to kill themselves with.
Well, they got to turn it on. Well, they did. No, they did.
It was a missed opportunity.
They should have fried one. No, he shouldn't. I think we all kind of agree with that.
I don't like it at all. Yeah, Luke littering was appalling. It was if you had to give me probably one of the dumbest decisions ever in a Star Wars, that was it.
That one didn't ruin it for me at all. I don't like it. I don't hate it. It just is what it was, right?
Yeah.
It was more his reaction more than the throwing. If he'd have just tossed it to the side or dropped it or gave it back,
it was just
and been a little more solemn and more Luke and less Hamill. And that's the problem I had with sequel Luke.
Yeah,
there was a lot of times he was more Mark Hamill than Luke Skywalker.
Until he starts telling stories, and whenever he starts telling stories and whatnot, or starts training, then you can see, okay, there's the Luke I was hoping to see.
Yeah, and the Kylo versus him was cool, right? But the Force Ghost was Hamill, and the tossing over the shoulder was Hamill.
Stupid.
What he should have done is gave it back to her.
Yeah. What are you doing with this? Anything?
Just give it back and walk off.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not the person that you came here to get. I'm out of this fight. This is your fight now. And that's what he said later.
Kenobi with that cat in the ravine, right? When they're talking, he's like, "Hey, you got somebody else,
right?
I'm not the one."
Right?
Same kind of talk.
Again, that was Rian Johnson's attempt at humor, getting humor in Star Wars completely wrong.
And that was a problem throughout that entire movie. All the humor that he had was completely wrong. But it's funny because with him, when he hit and it hit hard, right? Like the duel at the end with the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah.
A weird saber blip notwithstanding, it was a great duel. Yeah. Right. There were other scenes in it that were beautiful, right? The thing was shot amazingly. It was gorgeous, but the humor and the whole Canto Bight scene just didn't work.
Yeah.
The humor was from the Yo Mama joke all the way to the toss of the saber. It just didn't land right.
I think I even looked at Chris. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Was this happening right now?
Yeah.
And as many complaints that I have, and it is because it's like, again, I may see Star Wars differently, or that we all see Star Wars differently in tiny pieces. We all get the overall, we all get the message, we all do that. But those tiny pieces sometimes is what gives us our identity to Star Wars, right? And so Rian Johnson's obviously different than us, and it's vastly different than a lot of people for that much hate to come down on it, right? Like I might say something and Chris can disagree, but at the end of the day, it's a very minor thing that it's like, oh my God, that's not Star Wars complete. No, it's just different little things. And as many complaints as I have is that I do have a lot of there are some positives about the sequels I have. And if you cut them all up as cool scenes, I can probably rewrite an entire trilogy around those cool scenes. It's that
absolutely.
But there's just small like killing Snoke in 2 was a mistake.
I thought it was awesome.
It was a mistake because they followed it up too quick. Right. So if you had that 6 months to a year, like Empire to Return, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or if you had that same thing to where he could be the leader of the First Order, but you're coming 2 days later, the day
Well,
later, it doesn't work.
That's always been my problem with these. I get what everything you guys are saying, but mine is always there was no time jump.
Right.
Yeah.
These 3 movies happen like in a weekend.
Yeah.
Like everything from the
Specifically
no
the first
cuts
2.
or anything. We're correct. Yeah. That's the crazy part.
The first order came and went. Boom, boom.
But
Well,
and then her though too is when you kind of talk about her training, you also got to remember that it's still rolled on to the next day. They don't give us any type of sort of, and not even a sentence to say how long, not long, but that it was a while.
But in The Last Jedi, they did give us a time frame. It was 17 hours.
Yeah,
18 hours.
18
hours.
18 hours.
That's
Correct.
how long she was training for. It's like, wait, what?
That's what makes me so mad, because then you got a headcanon that it takes longer on Octo, like Dagobah. Like the times are different, because we've played that's been said about Dagobah too. Time moves differently on Dagobah. I guess kind of like Mortis.
Yeah.
Mortis does too. So I guess I can't get too mad about it. Damn it.
Interesting.
I hate when I put myself in a corner, because when you get a badass arc like that you don't want to tear apart at all, it's like, I'll just let it go.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Stu John, this is what Scott has been saying for like a long time. It was he's saying it was the only mistake not letting Kylo go completely dark.
Yeah,
which
no
was
redemption. No redemption should have happened.
We talked about, we did episodes about that. Like the redemption arc has been done, it's tired, and they're still doing it for these days, like Reva and you know what I mean? Like
finally you had a quote unquote Skywalker in charge of the galaxy, right? And how cool would that have been to just have him go full evil? I mean, that would have been awesome. That being said, one of the most beautiful moments in The Last Jedi was the scene with Han on the Death Star when the callback when he remembers his father, and that moment of clarity that he has. I mean, that was gorgeously shot. That took my breath away whenever I was watching that movie. One of the few moments in that entire movie where it gets me every time. I'm like, ooh. But,
You know what? It's funny that scene takes me out a little bit. I do like it, and I love that Solo's there and everything, but it's and I get that it's a vision, but it's so out of character for what we've seen before. Like, we've never seen anything like somebody non-Force user, Force Ghost, come up and be there, right? So now I have Han Solo, who died 2 movies ago, right here with different hair, looking at Kylo and talking to him. And I get that Kylo's kind of just having a vision, and Han's not really Force Ghost in it or anything, but it's strange because it's out of place. Right. He's not blue.
Now he's there.
Yeah.
What's up? I do that. Troy Dodson checking in. Thank you for coming,
Troy.
But back to that time for the 18 hours. The thing that really pissed me off in Lesha is 18 hours again is the across the galaxy and back.
And
in
back.
18 hours. They leave, go to Canto Bight, have an adventure, get
thrown
arrested,
in jail,
and back. Right? In 18 hours. You know how long it took to get to Bespin?
Yeah.
His hyperdrive was shot.
It's the little things like that. If you take that out and just have basically, how like what was it called, the light speed skipping from the beginning of Rise of Skywalker. I'm just saying, if you had something where they were chasing him down through the movie, like it's like, oh crap, they chased him here, we can't get away from him. But not like we got him a tractor beam. Let's just wait till they run out of gas. How long? 18 hours. All right, I'm gonna do this. You gotta do this. Boom, 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 and whoa, wait a second. Who wrote this shit? Like, come on.
That is first draft shit right there, right?
It really is.
Yeah, go back to second and third draft going, really, you might want to work on that a little.
Those are the notes for yourself to kind of understand your own time frame, right? Like, okay, I had to get this happen within here, and here, but you don't tell us. Just let us live on it.
There was never a time period
to the Death Star.
There was never a time period given in any of the original movies or any of the prequels.
That's kind of what makes it work a little bit, because it's left to your own device, right? It's and it works better that way. I don't know how long he was on Dagobah. We don't know how long it took to go across the galaxy to Bespin.
Right, but it wasn't 18 hours.
It wasn't. No. But again, they didn't have hyperspace. But everything takes longer than 18 hours, man. It's the galaxy.
Yeah. And you saw the map. It was clear across the galaxy too.
It was clear.
Even Naboo and Tatooine, they're next door neighbors. They didn't have a hyperdrive. They were able to get there. Right. They didn't give us a time frame, but they were able to fly there. These were clear across. Anyway.
It was like you couldn't have picked 2 places farther apart.
Yeah. And and it's made up stuff. You don't have to don't have to say, oh no, Octo is here or Canto Bite has to be here. No,
I don't even want to hear the word hours.
There you go.
Right?
Look, man.
It's 18 plebes from here. What?
Yeah,
it's a plebes.
That's a Rick and Morty metric. How many fits is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it was just needed some. It needed about 2 more years of writing, I think, and
a couple more drafts.
Well, that and here's 3 movies to do, not just like one and then someone else do it. What do you want to do? Just do something, and we'll figure it out later. And that really bad. And yeah, I mean, it did seem like a lot of that. It was like the first draft stuff made it to final cut or whatever. Yeah.
We got into sequel territory there.
We did, and that's
heart.
I think that's it's like more or less my problem with the sequels is that where it's like there are things that are written and they write it without almost researching it in a way where like, could that happen in Star Wars, or is that a thing? Or if I do this, I have a whole thing with R2D2, and I don't might get into it all here, but I kind of want to maybe just bring it to you guys' attention a little bit. R2 is my favorite character, right? So it's just because I think he's the heart and soul of Star Wars, right? And I was going through this in my head a lot, and it was like, there's a reason why astromechs don't get their memory wipe. It was the protocol droid, get his memory wipe, and then how we were talking the other day, Chris, about it, like, R2 saw everything, and why didn't he say anything? All that stuff. Well, I had it in my head for a little bit that astromech droids aren't.
Oh no, they are just not R2.
Oh really?
They all wipe everybody else's, so nobody can capture them and get the coordinates to the secret bases. Everything.
It was a whole thing in Clone Wars.
Whole deal. They wipe their memories, except for R2, because Anakin thinks his ship flies faster because R2 remembers everything. R2's like an amped up astromech, dude. He don't want to mess him. He never wipes R2.
And it's Padme's droid. He doesn't want to hurt Padme's droid. So,
but more for the ship.
Yeah. Well, that makes R2 even more special.
Right. Yeah, that's why he knows everything. That's why he knows everything more than anybody else. That's why he tries.
Well, where I was getting at was like, you didn't have to worry about astromechs so much than you did protocol droids, right? I mean, astromechs are utility droids, and protocol are interpreters or mechanics and all that stuff, right? So you wouldn't have to do it. Then I was like, well, because you had none of that with the original trilogy or in the prequels. He was just there, he just did his thing. But in the sequels, they made R2 sad. They made him shutting down because Luke was gone. You know what I mean? They made him very sentient, very, very human in that aspect. Where
you didn't think he was human in the
not yes and no. I
always saw R2 as
no. It got me thinking more and more like, there's, like I said, now that you've told me about Clone Wars, because again, Clone Wars droids episodes, goes over my head sometimes. Sometimes, but I had the feeling like there's a reason why astromech droids, and again, you've explained it to me, but I was in my head like, astromech, they don't need that. They don't need that attention to like,
because they don't know enough to share it. Is that
either that or like,
they're not. You don't really. Well, they kind of could. Everybody can understand R2.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe that's their choice to. So it's like, if R2 knows the good and bad guys, he's not gonna...
speaks binary.
Yeah, he does actually understand.
Totally knows. Yeah, understand it. Well, I mean, we don't know if he speaks it or not. We didn't know Han spoke Shriwook.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I always thought, like I said, R2, what I said, heart and soul, has an emotion, all that, but it was almost like where you didn't have to, I don't know. It was.
I get more emotion out of R2 than most of the characters.
Absolutely.
Only because his whistle is so emoted, right? Like you can tell when it's hollow, when it's happy. When he jiggles, R2 is like the most human person there.
Yeah. Yeah, Troy, that's also why it didn't make sense to have R2 shut down. That was crazy. R2 is the narrative story. They didn't
why
utilize.
Would you shut down R2 and not?
They didn't utilize the droids. They didn't utilize anything. Like they tried
to make their own new droids. Red Arm 3PO and BB-8.
Yeah.
And again, the Disney stuff. You can't just use Lucasfilm stuff. You have to change all the legacy shit. And that's what they
even after BB-8, they're like, well, let's not bring in R2. We're getting the BO or BD droid or Dio. The little Mickey Mouse droid. I mean, that was like.
But you see, this one is smaller and cuter because it.
I know. Instead of
no, thank you.
Pulling from the source, it's like, let's do another one.
It's stupid. Yeah.
And they gave BB-8 the line of, "I got a bad feeling about this," but yet we didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Past tense. Right. Like. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Dr. Brownlee, R2 is the main character and has more emotion than Mark Hamill. Yeah. Mando Mike Luke had R2 shut down to hide Luke's location. No, because he had the missing. He didn't have the full map.
He just
anyway.
Had
it didn't matter. Yeah. And they knew that. I thought. I don't know.
I was thinking about the BB-8 line. All they had to do was have him say, "I don't worry about your feelings, BB-8," and then you would have got it. Right?
Yeah.
We would have all understood. He said something to him, saying, "Stay positive, BB-8."
Yeah.
Happy beeps.
Happy beeps. That
happy
doesn't
beeps,
matter at all.
Yeah.
But if you said, "Don't worry about your feelings right now. We don't have no time for feelings," anything like that would have put us like right in the mode. Like, oh, BB-8 just said it. You know, because at least when Luke says it to R2, he says something not about feelings, but he said, "If you say you're having a bad feeling about this, I'm beginning to agree with you." You know, he talks to me, know what R2 said because Luke just said it. So I get it. That's what he should have done if that was really the case. But if I was writing it, that's what it would have been done.
Well, that's how we.
If you're writing it, somebody else would have said it, not BB-8.
Yeah, very true. But if I was trying to be clever, you could be clever, and I would have rather been R2. Right, than BB-8 saying.
Or Poe could have said something like, "How can you have a bad feeling? We haven't even started." Like something like that. Like it recognized.
There you go.
You never have a good feeling about anything.
Yeah. When have you had a bad or good feeling about anything?
Happy beeps is different than good beeps because even good beeps could have probably pulled us off into it. Like, bad feeling, good beeps, got it.
Exactly.
You know?
Otherwise, it probably would have been Holdo, and then Marco would have been really pissed. And it would,
could you imagine?
Did they have? Was there a bad feeling in Rise of Skywalker?
No, she said, "May the Force be with you."
Okay.
Yes, she did. She did.
Yeah.
So in all of the sequels, there was no. I had a bad feeling about.
Oh yeah, no. There was every one. BB-8 was the miss.
Oh, so only Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I haven't watched. I refuse to watch them enough to really like know these things because I get pissed off, you know.
That sucks too, man. Because I don't think I don't know if we're ever going to get to the point like we are with the sequel. I am with the sequel.
Maybe
where I watch and enjoy them. I don't think about any of the bad stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I even get through the pod race, and if I think about it, it's only because I laugh about it. Because I'm like, we could josh about this. You know, that's it. But I watch it.
Lando said, "I have a bad feeling about this
in Rise
of Skywalker." Yeah.
Gordon saying Finn said it. Maybe in Force Awakens, I think he did.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Chris, I think there is a generation that really likes the sequels. There's a lot of people that don't have a deep dive podcast, whatever, that they go, "Oh, that was good." I think
they just pretend to because they want to be different. Because they want to be contrary to everybody else. Everybody says they're bad, so I'm going to say they're good.
Yeah.
We tried to do that. Force Awakens is objectively pretty solid.
Yes.
Right? We tried to talk ourselves into The Last Jedi until Rise of Skywalker. We did, where we were fans, right? We're like, okay, we can make it work, but you need to do these things to make this work.
Yes.
And we'll accept it. Then all shit fell apart in Rise of Skywalker because it just doesn't
that's what drive
everything.
That's what I said. It's almost like they did its own thing and made the audience like we're dumb. You know, it's like
made me feel dumb because we were defending them the whole time, saying, "Hey, let them land let them get there."
Yeah, that and be like, "Hey guys, just check this out." As an audience member, somehow Palpatine, don't worry about it. He's there. We're gonna kill him again. Boom, boom. Oh, how this happened? Don't worry about it. It's just what, and that's what you become like. Hey, man, like you really
Yeah. See, they didn't. If they had it planned out, I know they didn't have this far, but they could have talked about it, not with them. But within the Emperor's area about the cloning and doing this for the last 30 years and failed attempts and
whenever Star Wars itself, especially through the prequels and the Clone Wars, has made an exerted effort to over-explain everything, to just say, "Don't worry about it. Somehow he's back." That's kind of a slap in the face, right?
On any film, not just Star Wars, like like trust your audience. Stop acting like your audience is stupid and trust them to
Well, like I said, they did that on the Rebel side, right, or the Resistance side. They kind of gave us a bit of an explanation I guess not enough on the Imperial, the First Order side. Because we saw it, right?
Well, they're starting to. They're starting to more.
Snoke,
Yeah.
in the movie, when you think you can see Snoke clones.
Yeah.
Right. You can figure it out. You find out that she's what happened to her, and that she's part of his clones. Right? Was that not that's explained in there? That she's the granddaughter of Palpatine. We kind of get a little bit.
Yeah. There
not
was some
super explained, but neither is anything in the original trilogy.
There was some exposition there that was
missing.
there.
Yeah. They were close on explaining some of that. It just not close enough. That's all.
Troy. Again, when we went through this whole thing, we were given the benefit of the doubt, like, they have to have a plan. They have to have a plan. Then I was like, oh shit, they don't have a plan.
Yeah.
and like Rhino
come back online and say, yeah, guys, you're right. They did not have a plan.
You know what? Yeah. And like I said, right? Yeah, I think for us, there's I think the holes are too damaged when it comes to trying to make sense out of these movies, because again, our talking points go back, to some things, and I know the Mandoverse is trying to really kind of bridge them a little bit more, and
they're trying to Clone Wars the sequel.
Exactly. They're trying to, but again, there are some things that if you don't do special edition or something like that, it's really going to make it difficult for our generation to
some
really
special edition fixes would be cool. Right?
Delete some scenes, add some, do whatever you need to
take
do.
away the 18 hours period. Just don't say it.
Just mute it.
Give a Palpatine laugh. Give a Palpatine laugh. In the Force vision.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. There's
I
some
think it
things.
may be too hard to do, because then once you do, like, we're adding too much.
Yeah.
But Ernie, I think it's that because who are they really
it's
trying
a scary
to
precedent to do.
Yeah, that and to admit they're wrong.
Yeah.
You're right, but at the same time, to admit they're wrong is the really big one. But at the same time, George kept tinkering with the product after it was released to the people, right?
And that was for his vision, not anybody else's.
Right.
That's true, but now that they have a fully realized vision, doesn't that give them an opportunity to go in and say, okay, well, we can now make this,
because they did it before? We say yes.
Maybe, but I think George when he did it, right? Isn't it more like, I couldn't do it before, I can now. Let me fix what I couldn't do in the first place. But I get what you're saying.
You can say that as much as you need to, but fucking McClunky does not need to be anywhere, right? There's no reason for McClunky, and that's just a stupid addition. Like Vader saying no before throwing the Emperor into the chasm, right? There's no reason for it. It was a more powerful scene before that happened. So
the problem with George Lucas,
at least they removed now Luke screaming down the pit.
They did remove it.
Right. And there you go. There's another thing, right? They added Luke screaming down the pit, and then they removed Luke screaming because it didn't work.
Or the some editions have him saying thank you 3PO on Echo Base, right? And some don't. And it's the most awkward thank you 3PO.
And it's on Dagobah too. The original, whenever R2 spit out, he says, "Oh, you're lucky you don't taste very good." But in the special editions, it's, "Oh, are you all right?"
Yeah.
It's no longer.
I never noticed that. Oh,
it's you're lucky you don't taste very good was removed. I still have it, so I get to see that part. And,
that's streaming now on some streaming site. The originals,
Roku. We talked about it on Monday, but it's already gone. Apparently, it's already gone. Apparently, it's So.
All right, guys. Well, it's late. Commander Bly's already left us. He went to bed. He was just like, I'm done with the sequel talk. No, but it's late. But yeah, I mean, it's sometimes it's almost like it's good to revisit to see if it's changed in our talking points or the way we view things, and it hasn't. I think.
How about this? Have you tried to watch it again since the last time we really discussed it?
No.
Scott?
I haven't. I tried watching.
Me?
I got through 15 minutes of Rise of Skywalker, and that was. And it's not that I was like, oh, screw. I just like I don't want to watch anymore. I'm just wasn't.
I haven't watched it since the last time we did the major rewatch. That we all sat down and watched every movie in a row. I haven't.
I'm telling you, I have not.
Ernie, have you?
Yeah.
No. Oh, when I was sick a couple weeks ago, I watched Force Awakens. And
which is 10 years old now.
Yeah.
Look at that. We should get an anniversary poster and some pops.
I know.
And then,
right?
And then, shit. Where was I going? I forgot what I was doing there.
You saw it whenever you were sick last week.
Oh yeah. And I love Force Awakens. I tried to put on Last Jedi. I can get through it, But as soon as Rise gets on, man, once I'm off Exegol, I'm out. I'm like, forget it.
That's what I'm saying. The first 15 minutes of Rise, as soon as Ray and Poe start arguing, I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch the rest of this.
I can't. I just don't. I'm not interested, and that's what sucks. Is I'm interested in Star Wars. Period. Why can't I just sit here and watch it? Because I'm just like,
I'll sit there and skim Disney Plus, and if I'm not doing like a series or whatever, I'm going to watch a movie. I go right to the sequels. I'm like, I don't want to get emotionally. I'm just kind of checked out emotionally in the movies to even like. If I was, it would be a Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I don't want to end the whole saga because right now Episode 9 is the end.
That's
of Star Wars, right? So when I watch that, it's like, ew. It's like the end of Dexter's first series.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah.
I don't want to do
not
that.
the way to land the plane, right?
No, and it's the same thing. I watch all the other seasons up until that one. Same with Star Wars. I watch all the seasons up until that one.
That's true.
That one. The last time I watched The Last Jedi, I honestly did skip the Canto Bight scenes, and it still worked, but I'm not sure if that's only because I already knew what happened in the Canto Bight scenes, because you still got to figure out, okay, who's this stuttering dude? Where did he come from, right? That's the only, it's like if you can fast forward, okay, why are they in jail? You still need it to make it work, but it's so much better if you skip it.
Yeah. Just for our sanity.
DJ was kind of a waste, right? It was a weird stuttering thing, but it was, I guess I get, like I said, we talked about that to death too, Rose and him being the angel and devil.
But it wasn't even they went there for a purpose. They didn't do it. And they came back and it was,
he's the new master code breaker. They just took him as the code breaker. It was just,
and then he just turned him in and it's like, okay, and it was a cool fight scene where BB-8 gets to control an ATST or whatever it was. And
somehow the lid just comes off the whole.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they have, when people write movies, they write cool scenes and then they write a story around those cool scenes. And I think, like I said, the sequels have a lot of cool scenes, but no one came in and plugged them all in. You know what I mean? Like in
flesh them out.
Yeah, a good way. There's like
in a substantial way. It was all just eye candy. It wasn't. There was no substance behind it. So
yeah,
exactly.
I just have it in my head. I wanted. Go ahead. Ray.
Even when they're on TV, I can't. And all the other ones you can leave on in the background.
Oh God,
even with commercials. You come back, you're like, oh, you sit down for your parts.
Yep.
And for somehow I've tried even on TV.
Yeah.
And I've ended up on another channel.
Yeah. Like, it's funny, Ernie, is like the movies I can't get into, but I could still, I'm cool with it at Disney. Like I'm there, I'm living. Hey, here's Ray. There's like, there's like things like, okay, I understand these characters are in Star Wars, but like their adventures, it's tough, man.
No, dude, even the stormtroopers, I have trouble accepting the stormtroopers.
Yeah,
right. I mean, I guess kind of fun that there are stormtroopers there, but they're not the stormtroopers.
They're the iPhone stormtroopers.
When the celebration, when we went to Celebration in Anaheim when I was there the first time. And they had that display of the Force Awakens display. Yeah. I was looking, and I was like, "Oh, what are these? This is weird. This is like Star Wars. This is almost like a remake. Like, these stormtroopers are just weird looking, and
the guns made it look worse.
Yeah, Nerf guns.
They're plastic. They're plastic Nerf guns.
Yeah.
They needed a better villain, and you didn't have to redo stormtroopers. You could have done anything.
No First Order. I mean, there was a.
But they'll always kind of be stormtroopers because you need fodder. Right, and even in the Old Republic, aren't they kind of stormtrooper? Aren't they even stormtroopers in the Old Republic?
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Besides the Sith army,
they're not stormtroopers. They're like Sith troopers. There's
like
it's what the Emperor was trying to bring back with the Sith, with the Sith Eternal.
Gosh, that'd have been a cool little
final order.
Yeah, if it came back as Sith Eternal, the
final order is like a wrestling move, right? Like you're like coming out announcing, "We're the final order."
I know.
Dude, get out of here.
And then that didn't matter because he had the dyad. Okay, forget it. Because he's like,
but every Star Destroyer was a Death Star.
Every single one.
Every single one of them.
I mean, why were they underground?
Kyber crystal. What was that?
Why were they underground getting made? Why did they have to raise out of the ground?
I mean, it's Exegol, right? It's hidden.
It made, like I said, though, it made for a really cool visual, right? All of a sudden, you've got these massive machines rising up from the dead. Like
that's what I'm saying. They wrote all these cool scenes down, and
no substance.
I'm like, you just built it under the ground. I mean, you're bringing dirt up. They didn't even open like things up. You're like bringing the ground.
We need extra work. We're gonna bust out through the earth.
The planet's zombies are hot.
Hidden. Zombies are hot, baby. Zombies are hot. Why not? Zombie Star Destroyers. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, I do, Mando.
Horses
Yes,
on top of them.
Yeah.
God damn.
Horses, space horses. And not on purpose, Mando, but yeah. Let's see. Trevor Ritchie. All right. Yeah. Hey, fellas, man. First round results of March Madness were pretty rough.
That happens.
Well, let's get out of here, guys. Thank you. So this was great. Just a reminder to head over to our community post on our YouTube channel and vote for the SD17. Voting ends tomorrow. I'll let all day tomorrow, so March 6th by midnight. That's where I'll take the winner, and we're just going to go forward with it. So get your votes in, be a part of it. This is our droid. This is a cool build. If you want to see
the Boba theme is pretty up there. It's
I heard that the backpack, that a jetpack could actually happen with that one too.
There's some cool things that you wouldn't see on the mock. Again, that's just a guide to get us to where we really want to get. And it's also going to choose the backstory to the droid too, because there is going to be a whole story with it. So why it's called Scum and Villainy, why it's called Imperial Sympathizer, there's a reason for that. So you could be a part of that. Be part of Starlight Digest history. If you want to see it being made, head over to Tashi Station Emporium YouTube channel also, because you can see it being printed and assembled and sanded and all that great stuff if you're interested in cosplay and prop building. So thank you guys.
He made me sand the damn thing too.
Yeah. I'm all no mask for you, just breathing that
fun.
crap.
That's right.
So with that, let's go over attack Scott. I'm like, you didn't learn nothing. It's like,
yeah. Are you done saying the droid? Yeah. No, obviously not. Show me saying the droid.
Show me. All right, guys. Well, everybody in Pit, thank you so much. This was a good in between when we don't have much. We just kind of go and turn on the camera and go. But I promise you, we do have other things to go on.
I'm really bummed that Andor is only 4 weeks.
I'm kind of excited in the moment, but not that long term.
Yeah, it's cool that we're getting a movie a week. That's rad. Yeah, but it's only 4 weeks instead of 12 for us.
Yeah.
So like we only have a month of content.
What are we gonna do?
I'm just thinking selfishly for us.
Selfish, yeah, exactly. All right, well, Fallen Fett, take us out of here.
Yeah, thank you guys very much for jumping in the pit with us tonight. The last off has begun.
Yes, begun.
Yep.
As soon as we sign off, start. Yeah.
All right. So, yes, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please, again, all of those links are down below. Check out Tashi Station Emporium. And then for all your figure stand needs, go to TashiStationEmporium.com as well. And hype up your display a little there. They definitely work for all figures. If it's in your collection, he's got you covered for sure. Don't forget to check out last Monday's episode. Chris didn't. That's why he didn't know that they had already talked about it.
Oh, you talked about streaming on the Toy Show? My bad.
Yeah, but you can. So please go check that out over there. And if you want some more great content, we have it all here for you covered from A to Z, from toy reviews to news, special shows and everything. If you're brand new, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and hit all so you don't miss when we're on. And then go check out all that great content we have. We are all over the internet and all socials. We do have a Discord as well. And if you don't have that, then go to our Facebook Sarlacc page for 24/7 Star Wars talk. And don't forget to vote by tomorrow.
Yes. It's cool that a lot of people are participating, so it's awesome.
Yeah. Vote. Your life might just depend on it. Who knows if that droid is going to try to kill you or save you? You don't know.
It's very true.
Until you vote.
All right.
You're
with that,
muted,
Scott.
Chris is muted. He just.
I say that's the old Fett, so it's a bad guy Fett.
Oh yeah, so, when we do this, we're doing proper Fett.
Yeah, we got nothing but bad guys on that screen, so they're all.
It's proper. Yeah. No.
But are they killing you for profit or for an ideology? You don't know.
Exactly. With that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.